Go.
Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Height Sports Podcast. This time from scenic Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah,
We've left Ireland. We're now back in Newton. Sully.
Yeah, this is 235 Com Ave in Newton. We're very happy to be back in the sun, and that's why we brought you outside today, because it is no longer
rain.
raining. Yes.
I'm finally dry after being on the field yesterday's game.
Yeah, and speaking of yesterday's game,
There was a game yesterday.
and it was not pretty. Boston College, in its season opener against Georgia Tech at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, lost 17-14. The Eagles got off to a cold start in the first half with 2 turnovers and a missed field goal, while Georgia Tech scored a touchdown with some long passes and a strong triple option threat. In the second half, BC came out really strong. Jonathan Hilliman had a 73-yard rushing touchdown, although the Eagles did miss a field goal in that half. Later on, in the fourth quarter, BC scored again as Patrick Tolles had several sharp passes, the new quarterback, before rushing it in for a 6-yard touchdown. But BC's secondary sort of collapsed at the end, allowing a field goal late in the fourth quarter, and then on the final drive, allowing a 4th and 19 and several long third down conversions to have Georgia Tech come away with a 17-14 victory.
So this is the kind of game, as people quick to point out, we've seen before last year. In fact, Syracuse real quick in last game of the season. But we were able to take some positives out of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's start with the offense. Patrick Tolles really looks like the solid quarterback.
Finally, the starting quarterback that looks like maybe consistent.
Yeah, he was 11 for 17 for 176 yards. He had the one pick. The fumble, I wouldn't really say it's his fault. That was on a blown blocking on the offensive line. The pick, it was tipped but thrown a little high. But Tolles looked really sharp overall. He really looks like a good leader. He's scrambled a lot, like a
He
Tyler.
does move around in the pocket very well.
Yeah, it's like a Tyler
something you see
Murphy
right
light,
away.
which we really weren't expecting that. He didn't get to do that a lot at Kentucky because their offense wasn't very dynamic there. So Tolles, it was a good a B effort. I really think we could see a lot more out of him.
Might even get some more planned rushes in the future. He looked like he moves pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's possible. A lot of those plays weren't designed. They were mostly draws that he saw holes in, but he exploited
Touchdown
them.
especially. The
Yeah,
touchdown run was a great
absolutely.
hole.
They was really good. Running backs, Jonathan Hillman. If you take out that 73-yard touchdown run,
Which was a great run.
It was a great run. He found a really solid hole. If you take that out,
That I just missed him.
yeah, he just missed it. Other than that, he was 16 for 29. So not great. I don't know if it was really the offensive line or him being unable to find that hole. But I really think what really matters is when you find that hole for the first time and at least it gets you to the score. That's what matters more for an offense. Miles Willis and Tyler Rouse were also pretty solid. They weren't used as much. Davon Jones could have seen a little more time, I thought. From the wide receivers, BC has playmakers, which we really didn't expect.
Is this the first time we've seen this year at BC? I don't remember seeing anything like these guys making plays.
I mean, 176 yards is the most that Boston College has had since Chase Reddick was the quarterback in a single game. Tyler Murphy may have done one of the right time to check the stats, but I know it didn't happen last year. Darius Wade had about 150, but that came against Maine in the first game of the season. And obviously he eventually missed that afterward. But Charlie Callanan really looks like a true number 1 receiver. He had 4 catches for 92 yards. The most Thaddeus Smith had 99 last year against Duke, and most of those came on one really long pass from Troy Flutie. Michael Walker and Jeff Smith were really impressive in their debuts. They looked very athletic. Jeff Smith in particular was really shifty, and Walker nearly had a touchdown, just slipped on the grass of Aviva. So I think they really have some good, strong playmakers on offense. The line, overall, I think decent performance.
Didn't look bad.
No,
which we have seen in the past and last year.
Absolutely.
But there were no glaring issues I saw getting to the quarterback.
I would say the only bad play was that Jimmy Lowry missed block on the right tackle side. But then again, Lowry and Chris Lindstrom, the right guard and right tackle, also opened up that hole for Hilliman. They opened up the holes for Tolles to get through. So, other than that, they didn't allow a sack of Tolles, which is good.
Yeah, that was no.
Yeah, that happened a lot last year. So, Georgia Tech's not really a great pressure team, but they were able to get through that. And then on the defensive side, lots of really strong performances on the defensive side. Connor Strahan had 4 tackles out of the backfield with 8 total, so he was running all around. Matthew Milano was really strong again. He had the game's only sack, a 9-yard sack of Justin Thomas, as well as one play where he raised his hand in the air and made Thomas throw a ball to the dirt. It was really fun to watch. Truman Goodapple
He had one kind of tackle. There was one where he I don't even know how he did it, but he almost pulled the man over himself. It was amazing.
And Good Apple really hasn't gotten even though he's been a starter now for 3 years, he hasn't gotten the chance to
He
shine.
hasn't got attention at all.
I know, because it's because of Connor Wojak, of Mehdi Abdesmad, because of Brian Mahalik, but now he's
Guess what? He's here.
Yeah, and he's ready, and it's going to be really important because BC has a lot of young defensive tackles coming in alongside him. The Good Apple was phenomenal.
Secondary looked good except for that one play on the 4th and 20.
Yeah, the secondary on the whole, and now we're going to start shifting into some of the problems. Secondary on the whole.
Should we go one more good thing?
Good special teams.
teams.
You know, obviously there's a lot of bad things to say about special teams. We'll get to that in a second.
But the punt side, both ways.
Yeah, punt side
great.
both ways look great. That's a game that BC really didn't have a lot of last year. Al Tal, of course, was a great punter, but Mike Knoll, the battered kicker who missed extra points, including Pinstripe Bowl back in 2014, is now a punter. He looked really strong. He had that one punt that was down at the 1 yard line. So Knoll, and he really enjoyed doing it too. You saw him celebrating a lot on the sidelines. So it's good that Knoll has a lot of confidence. We might not even need to miss Howell for now if he can keep up that kind of performance.
Yeah.
And it's not really as if the weather was a factor helping him or hurting him, because we saw the Georgia Tech punter consistently miss overall. And on the punt return,
Tyler Rouse looked like he was made to return punts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why this didn't come sooner, but it looks good now.
Yeah, Rouse had 36 punt return yards on 5 punts. You know, that's not a whole lot, but that's
compared to what we've seen in the past. That's a huge improvement.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, special teams weren't all great. Colton Lichtenberg missed 2 field goals, one from 40, one from 35. The first one was blocked, looked a little low. The 35-yard one was completely shanked. You know, Lichtenberg knows this himself. There's no reason to really dig into him, but it just can't happen now. He's 3 for 8 in his young career, and the 5 field goals he's missed have all come in games that were ultimately decided by a field goal. So Lichtenberg knows he's got to make that play. Again, in the second offense overall, the turnovers were bad. They were more flukier in terms, but you know,
I think you take out the first quarter, it was a pretty good overall effort. They looked like they were still trying to figure things out. This is the first game of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, which comes tough time. You have a competitive conference matchup.
Plus a school a program that's really under the microscope given their failures last year.
They're going to talk about getting that ACC win until it comes.
Yeah.
We've heard winless streak.
Absolutely.
Over and over.
In the secondary, there's really no excuse to have that secondary come out there and give up a 4th and 19 and 2/3 longs against an option offense. So they're going to have some issues that they have to work out. They really should practice a lot with the deep ball. I think Patrick Tolles and Darius Wade and whoever the quarterbacks are, that's something that Steve Adazio really needs to work on. And then time management looks good today. There were a couple of questionable decisions. I would say that right before that field goal, that second missed field goal. Yeah, he used a timeout right before, looking like he was going to go for it on 4th and 1, then decided to go for the field goal. It's not a terrible decision to play conservatively, but at this point, BC has the key players to be able to get a 4th and 1. It's something that they should know. Between the weather and the fact that Lichtenberg had missed one already, I mean, I think I would have gone for the 4th and 1 with a 250-pound, 6'6" quarterback. But it's not. We would if he made it. We really wouldn't be criticizing that way too.
Yeah. I mean, you can second guess it the other way.
Exactly. The flip side of that is on the last offensive drive before BC turned it over to Georgia Tech. They really just got Dak down to a really vanilla offense that looked like they were just playing not to lose, which is not a good strategy, and it's something that BC can't afford to do. And I think a lot of fans were frustrated at that point because you really were just not. It just didn't look like it wasn't a great offensive set. So seeing a little more risks at the end of games is something that Boston College should really consider going forward.
I mean, this is a team that's used to having its defense on the field with a really good defense that you like to see on the field, but maybe a little more confidence going forward on offense to move the ball.
And Adazio said after the game that it's his defense that he wanted him on the field afterward, but that's not a strategy you want to see out of your team. But overall, it's really hard to not take away good things from this team from its first game. I think BC fans have enough that they should be confident going forward. This particular loss stings mostly because I think of everything last year and because it was a very late blow.
I think who was it? It was Hillman we talked to after the game. He said this is a different team. And it is. You can see it. You can see the energy, I think, coming out. You can see that they have a lot more options than they did last year. Older guys coming to you. So
Absolutely. And now next week is it's an easier battle for sure. They've got the University of Massachusetts, the newly independent school. Still, didn't have a good season last year. They're playing at Gillette Stadium, which, even though it's a home game for UMass, it's much closer to Boston than it is to Amherst. So, BC's really got to come out strong. I think they can't just beat UMass. They really have to convincingly beat down on them for that to happen. So that about wraps things up.
I think that's about it.
For episode 3. We'll be back later this week for a shorter preview.
Yeah, I'm still trying to iron out the schedule of how we're going to do this.
We have no idea.
We will not have 3 in a row. We will not be in Ireland again anytime soon. Sunday,
maybe, perhaps. Gotta go back to the Supermax.
Oof. We weren't able to talk about that, but check it out. Supermax, better than McDonald's. Sausage was great. Any last thoughts from Ireland? This is our chance to wrap it up.
Rains a lot.
Ooh, so much.
Yeah, and rugby.
Rugby was fun. Check out my article later.
Yeah. So now about wraps it up. So we'll see you later this week.